Whether you're on a server or a Windows client, Windows Event Viewer gives us the ability to search for logs through filtering. Let's take a look at that by going into Tools and Event Viewer from Server Manager. I'm going to expand the Windows logs, and then I'm going to go to where it says System. Now, there's a couple of different ways we can filter. One of the most simplest ways that I like to use for filtering is the Find button. So I'll click on Find, and I'll type in whatever search term I'd like. So for instance, maybe I want to look for an error. So I'll click on error, and now what it's going to do is it's going to go through every single log file that has the word error in it. Now in this case, it's showing me that there are no errors, and the word error, of course, appears. So it may not always work exactly the way you hope. Let's also take a look for any problems with my DHCP server. So I'm going to filter by DHCP, and there's a warning log that shows up saying that my DHCP scope is 100% full. So that's a very useful way to find anything that has to do with your log files without going through a lot of different filtering options. However, if you do need a more advanced way of filtering, we have a way to do it. So what it can do is go to where it says Filter Current Log. Now, the Filter Current Log gives you a lot of different options, such as you can look for specific types of events. Here are the 5 different types of events that which you can filter with our event logs. Critical events tell us when a server is in danger of shutting down, or maybe it already has shut down. Error events tell us that there is a problem with a specific service or a specific application or the operating system, but the entire server is not at risk. Warning could tell us what's about to happen could turn into an error or critical, and that you should keep an eye on it to make sure things don't get worse. And information is what you're going to see the most of in most log files, and it just tells you things like when a service has stopped or started, or when someone logged in or logged off. And verbose is going to give you all the information, as much as possible the information from any of the logs that show up. So most likely you're probably going to want to look for critical and errors. You may also want to look for warnings, but I'm just going to focus on these 2 for right now. And you can see I'm in the event log for system. So that's the one I right-clicked on and chose properties. You can go into any of the other event logs and do the same thing. Now I want to look for the event sources. So I want to look for critical and error, but I don't necessarily want to look for all the different critical errors. I may want to look for something specific. So I can scroll down and take a look and see, oh, how about an application hang? That could be a problem, or an application error. And maybe you can go down further and look at other things. Since we're in the system logs, this is probably going to be an important part by clicking on some of these areas of system. So once you have that set up the way you want, then you can go to the next portion. And that's going to be keywords. You can go ahead and choose specific keywords if you'd like, such as audit failure, audit success, classic, and other things in this list. I'm not going to filter by keyword. I'm just going to choose all the different words that show up. And here you can choose to filter by user or by computer. So if the computer is a member of the Active Directory domain, then you can look on other computers, not just the one that you're currently on. I'm going to click OK. And here we can see the errors that are related to my filter. So I can go through each one of these errors, and I can take a look at the various different error event IDs, as well as any other information, and then I can go do a search for that information, and then I can solve my issue using the event logs. Filtering can help us whittle down to just those areas that we need to focus in our Windows server, and in this case, our 2022 server.